Hello, my name is Dan. I'm a motorcycle instructor. I've been teaching for about 4 years and I want to help you guys with your Module 1, your Module 2 and your CBTs. 13 show me, tell me questions. We've got 3 key words. The first one being show, which means the examiner wants you to physically touch, physically interact with the bike. The second word being tell. This is when they just want you to explain something. You don't have to touch the bike. And then the third word being identify. This is where you're going to point to something out on the bike. Identify is never a question on its own. It's normally part of a question, normally part of a tell question. First question on my list would be identify where the brake reservoirs are and tell me how you make sure they're at a good safe level. Now the easiest way to do this is to think about where are the brakes on your bike, because you may not have a KTM. You might have a Kawasaki Z650, you might have a CB650, you might have an MT-07. So if you go to the front brake, you follow the lever, you follow that lever all the way around and you'll find a pot of some description. Now on my bike it's nice and simple, we can see the pot, we can see the fluid. On your bike, maybe it's got an actual metal container with just a little window on it. But either way, you're looking for something that holds fluid. Okay, so this would be the first one, so that's my first identification of my first reservoir. The second reservoir, go to your rear brake, all right, and you want to go down to your rear brake and again look for where a reservoir could be held. Now if you've got a Z650, then your reservoir will be behind a plastic strap. Sure that your fluid is correct, you'll need to lift the bike up. So here, if I were to lift my bike up and make sure it's level and upright, you're also going to make sure it's between the maximum and minimum lines, and you're going to adjust according to your manual. Now in your manual it will tell you what fluid you need to put in and how much fluid you need to put in also. Identify where you check your engine oil and tell me how you'd make sure it's at a good safe level. So we've got identify and tell. So here on my bike, my engine oil is here, so I'll just point down to here. That's a little sight window. Now if you've got a Z650 or you have an MT-07, you will have a window. Check on either side of the bike. If you have a CB650 as your training bike, then you will have a dipstick. Okay, and with a dipstick, you will just need to point to the dipstick and then just tell the examiner, you'll pull it out, wipe it off with a rag, push it back in, pull it out again, and then you'll get your correct measurement, making sure the bike is obviously upright. So here I'm not going to get a correct reading, I need to make sure the bike is upright. Yeah. So then the tell part of the question is, make sure my bike is upright, make sure the engine is cold, and make sure I'm on flat level ground, and adjust according to the manual. You tell me how you'd make sure that your tyres are in good roadworthy condition. You're simply going to say I'd make sure my tyres are a minimum of 1 mil across 3/4 of the width of the tyre around the entire circumference, making sure there are no scratches, bulges, foreign bodies, and that your tyre pressure is according to the owner's manual. When you check the pressure, you would use a reliable tyre pressure gauge. Now some examiners across the UK, particularly in London, they will ask you this question in a slightly different manner. So what they may say to you is, tell me how you check the tyre pressures on this machine. And you simply say, I'd use a reliable tyre pressure gauge and I would adjust according to the manual. Tell me how you make sure your chain is in good roadworthy condition. Now we've got 5 answers to this question. First one being, make sure that it's lubricated. Now before you lubricate a chain, you'd make sure it's clean. So that's 2 there. Yeah, you clean your chain and you lubricate it. Whilst you're cleaning your chain, you can check the general wear and tear of your chain. So that then is 3 answers. The third answer, probably the most important answer, is tension. Making sure that your chain is the correct tension according to the owner's manual. Now, in order to tighten your chain, you're going to loosen some nuts, or loosen the axle, and then tighten some nuts either side. And when you do that, your wheel can end up skew width inside your swinger. So you just need to make sure that your wheel alignment, once you tighten your chain, is correct. But the 5 answers are, make sure you clean it, general wear and tear, lubricate it, make sure it's tensioned according to the owner's manual, and that the wheel is correctly aligned in the swinger.